Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. It's Leah here, and today I wanted to show you how to do a natural smoky look using the Morphe 350M palette. It's backwards, it's glorious. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. If you're interested in how I'm going to be getting the natural smoky eye look, then go ahead and stay tuned. Also say hi to Lo. He might pop his head up every now and then. And sorry if the lighting gets weird. I'm trying to do this before the sun comes overhead again and like gets all weird, but in this video we're just going to be doing eyes. I'll pop off to do my face makeup and then pop back in. Anyways, let's get started. So first things first is I have to go ahead and prime my eyes, and lately what I've been using to prime with has been the Wet n Wild eyeshadow primer, and it's like photo focus. Pretty inexpensive, and I seem to have liked it. It grew on me. Like the first time I used it, I didn't like it so much, but I actually really like it. I'm going to put a little bit of this on top of my hand. As you can see, it's kind of got a pigment there, but I like to mix it with a little bit of concealer. So I'm just going to mix in a little bit of my Too Faced Born This Way concealer, just a tiny bit, and just go ahead and use whatever brush you want. This is just like a kind of like a big concealer brush, and I'm just going to mix those two together and then start placing on my eye. I already did my brows. Okay, so now that my eyelids are primed, I'm going to go ahead and put on a base just with a big fluffy brush that I'll be using again. So I'm going to be using my e.l.f. Airbrush Blending Crease brush, and I love it. It's very big and fluffy, and it works amazing, especially for blending. And I'm going to go into my palette, and I'm going to just go ahead and start with the lightest color right here, kind of like a light cream, and just place that all over my lid. This will help my other shadows blend a lot easier once you have some sort of powder on top. Okay, so that is good to go. So now what I want to do is I want to start and put in a nice shade that's not super dark. That's going to like accentuate my crease, but not very light. It's going to be like our transition shade and something that we can keep using to blend with. And the shade that I'm going to use that for is going to be this third shade in. It's like a very tan color. And I'm just going to go ahead and just place that right above my crease. Nice and transitioning. I really like how these shades by Morphe blend. I think they blend really nicely. There's definitely a lot of kickback in the palettes. It's not necessarily bad, it's just if you're working with a very like bright color or any of these dark colors, you might want to tap your brush a little bit to prevent fallout, but I tend to do my eye makeup before I do my face makeup, especially if I'm doing anything with a smoky eye or using any like really dark colors. But today we're just doing natural colors, so if you wanted to do your face makeup first, you're totally good. So I've got that transition shade on, and now what I'm going to go ahead and do is dip into this color I've been absolutely loving on here, and it is this kind of like rusty tan. Where is it? This one. It's like a coppery rusty tan color, and it is amazing. I love it so much. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm using the same brush right now. If you have other brushes that you want to use, for sure, go ahead and do so. But I'm going to come back into this after. I'm going to put something on my lid too. But right now we're just going to kind of go into the crease once again and just blend it out. And you can get more towards your lid with this color. That's totally fine. But we just want a really warm look for today. Alright, so I found that especially with the brush I'm using and the Morphe palette, I'm not having to blend as long as I've had to with some other shadows. So that's also why I really like this palette. It's just really easy to work with and very inexpensive, especially if you're a beginner in makeup and you are looking for a palette that has a lot of colors so you can just purchase something and be done with it and use it for a while. I recommend getting a Morphe palette. You don't necessarily have to get this one. There's all different types of colors. And it won't break your bank. Okay, so now that I have this color on, I'm going to go ahead and put something on my lid, which I'm trying to decide right now as we speak what I want to put on my lid. I'm going to go ahead and use my e.l.f. eyeshadow C brush. You can see that it's very dense. It's a really dense brush. It's very thick, it's short, and I like to use this for my lid if I'm packing color onto it. And today we're not going to be using any shimmers in here. The only thing that I'll be using that's somewhat shimmery will be any like a highlight to put underneath my brow bone in the inner corner. But let's go back in this, and I'm not sure what shade I want to do. Nothing too intense, but definitely something that's got to be, you know, a good melding color with this one I have right now. And I think I'm going to go in with this brown color right here. It's just a nice warm brown shade right next to that like orangey coppery shade we just used. Just going to go ahead and dip into that. And what we're going to do is just place this on the lid, just pack it on. Got the product here, and I'm just going to start packing it on. Okay, so now that I have my lid color on, I'm going to go ahead and darken up the corner, the outer corners here, because we're doing like a smoky natural eye, but I really want to pull my eyes upward a little bit and just kind of full on smoke it out. But before I do that, I'm going to blend just really quickly one more time. We're going to be blending a lot with that one shade that we used, the like coppery color right here. I'm just going to dip in really quick, and I'm just going to blend out any harsh edges. We'll come back into this again too. So just be prepared to use the same brush. You really only need like 4 brushes for this look, I think is amazing. And I'm just gonna kind of do blend out any harsh lines here. Make sure we're fully blended. And let's go in with an outer corner color. So I'm using this brand new brush. I have not used it yet. It's a Royal and Langnickel brand brush. I almost said brush, and it's called the Angle Shader, and it's so durable. Okay, so what color do I want to go on the outer corner? Like we said, we're gonna keep this natural, so we're gonna stick with, you know, anything in this palette is very natural. You know, I'm probably not gonna dip into any of these red colors, but they're actually absolutely gorgeous if you do. If you want to see how I use any of these red copper tones, comment below, let me know. I'm more than happy to make a tutorial. They kind of match my shirt right now. Let's go ahead and use, we're sticking to the warm theme here, and so I want to stick warm. I don't want to put anything too cool in here. So, too cool for school. So we're going to dip into this brown, this kind of warm, almost red-toned brown color right here. It's right below that blending shade we've been going back and forth to. So I'm going to dip into that with this angled shader brush. I don't know how this brush works yet, so I'm going to put a little bit of product on it and see what happens. But we're just going to put this in the outer corner. A really good trick to this is to literally just like stamp it on, just like this in the outer corner. You can just stamp it on here. We're going to blend, so like don't be alarmed if this looks really strange right now. But we're just going to kind of like place it, and then we're going to go back in and blend. But I've got to build this color up a little bit more before I go ahead and blend it out. So now that I've placed the color there, I'm just going to go back in and blend. I'm not even going to put anything on this, and just blend in like some circular motions. Blend, blend, blend. And that's how easy it is to blend these shades. I don't know what it is. I haven't tried really any other palettes. I have the other one that's like the frosty one. I don't use too much. But this one, I seem to notice that the colors blend very easily. So yeah, I think it's a really great palette for anybody, and especially if you're beginning. So we're gonna do the same thing on this end, kind of like carve out that little section on the outer corner here. And I'm gonna deepen this one up a little bit more. But I wanted to dedicate this mostly just to eyes. So we're gonna dip back into that one copper shade, and we're just gonna blend once more to get everything married and melding together and glorious. And that's good to go for now, for the big part of it. And then we're just gonna go into the crease, like really close to the lash line with a small little like short shading brush. This is a Luxie 223 brush, and it's so cute. It's like pink and rose gold, and this is how the bristles look. They're very dense and very short, and I like to use this for going into the lash line. I don't know if I'm gonna do any type of liner. Okay, so I'm not going to go in with any liner. I'm just going to shade in a very dark shade here. And I think I'm going to go in with the darkest shade in the corner right here. Dip into my brush. This picks up really nicely. And we're just going to go in, just focus towards the lash line here. A little bit more. Okay, so now just to finish off, I'm gonna go in with that light shade again up here, and I'm just gonna like blend out. I wiped this brush off, but I'm just gonna kind of like place it up at the top to kind of just blend everything together. So I will be right back. Hey, I am back. So got my full face on. If you're wondering what I used on my lips, I used the Bite Beauty lipstick called Honeycomb in the collection Amuse Bouche. Totally check these out. They're amazing. They're super soft and buttery, but yet they're almost a little bit matte, and they last a long time. And they're just really pretty shades. And if you don't know what Amuse Bouche is, it is a tiny little like hors d'oeuvre that you get right before you start your first course of dinner. I used to work in a restaurant, and that's when we would serve Amuse Bouche. So they're really fun, they're really cool. Check it out. So what I want to do is just finish up my eyes. I wanted to go ahead and smoke out the bottom lid, but I like to do this after I add my concealer so that when I'm putting on my makeup, my face makeup, I'm not covering anything. So what we're gonna do is jump back into the same palette, use the same colors that we used, and let's get started. So I like to go in with the one orange rusty copper shade, and I'm gonna go ahead and use my e.l.f. pencil brush. Very inexpensive, and I love it. And I love the shape of it, I love the style of it. It's just very thick, dense, but pencil-esque. So we're gonna go in with that, and we're gonna go back into that one shade right here, and we're just gonna start smoking out the lower lash line. So I'm just gonna start placing it right underneath here. Other reason I also love doing smoky eye looks is because I have wrinkles underneath. I have slight wrinkles underneath each eye, and when I put a shadow there, it actually like hides them. So I don't have to worry about too much creasing, and I don't have to worry about any of those wrinkles showing. Like just get rid of them. Just paint right over them. So I'm putting this underneath the entire lash line and just pulling it up to meet where my shadow is. And I just want to put one little swipe of this on there, and then I've got to deepen it up a little bit. So what I think I'm going to do is go in with that corner. I'm going to go in with that shade that I used on the outer corner here. And what that is that very red toned warm brown shade that was right below the one shade we just put on. We're going to dip into that. You actually can just use the same brush. You don't need to wipe it off. You can if you want, if you're worried about color transfer, but this is darker color. So that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to just place this not underneath the entire lash line, just up until the center here. Just until the center, and we're going to just pull it on out. We'll do a quick blending sesh right here just to meld the two together so it's not like harsh and weird looking. And we just don't want to do too much, so I'm just going to move on to the other eye. I like this. Okay, so now that I have those on, I really want to just deepen my lower lashes a tiny bit, like not too much, and I don't want this dark brown color to even like get melded in with these. I just want it to be like the lower lash line. I'm not going to use any liner, I don't feel like it. So I'm going to go back into that super dark brown, just take a tiny bit on this short shader brush, that same brush we used before, the Luxie 223, and we're just going to literally just place this right on the lash line, like literally where your lashes sprout. We're not going to go all the way towards the center, we're just going to keep it on the outer little corner there, and you can see it just deepened it a little bit, and I'm just going to do that on the other side. So we just did that just to deepen it a little bit. Now what I want to do is just blend it out really quickly. We are going to go ahead and use that same fluffy blending brush. I'm going to wipe it off. I have a new like blending blending sort of fluffy brush coming in the mail, so I can have two. But work with what you have. I'm trying to build up my brush game here, but work with what you have. It's totally fine. Wipe it off. It's good. And we're just gonna make sure it's clean. If it has a little bit of pigment on it, no worries. We use this for the entire look. And we're just gonna kind of like blend this out here so there's no harsh like weirdness going on. I still want it to pull out. So now that we have that all set, I am going to go ahead and start with putting some highlight shades in. Ooh, the sun, it's getting weird. I'm so sorry if you see that light right there. It's shining through my blinds. But I want to go ahead and highlight underneath my brow bone. I'm going to highlight in the inner corner, and then I already put highlight on my face, so I don't need to do that. But what I want to go ahead and do is I'm going to dip into my Anastasia Glow Kit in the shades, the kit is called Sun Dipped. I actually depotted them and put them in my Z palette, but this is the shade Summer. And I'm going to take a little bit of that with my Vasanti Eyeshadow 2 brush, and I'm just going to go ahead and place that right directly underneath the brow bone, just to give it a slight highlight, maybe pick up a little bit more. A little bit, just a tiny bit, it doesn't need to be too much. I need my brows done. Real bit. Okay, so just a little bit of that, as you can see, not too much. And then I want to go ahead and actually go into the inner corner. So with a couple of shades here in the same palette. This is an Ofra shade, and so sorry, I can't remember it off the top of my head. I depotted it, and I have actually the container it came in, and I will list it below, the shade that it is. But it's like a rosy, goldy, like very gorgeous highlight. I've been using this a lot in the inner corner, and I'm going to go ahead and place this in the inner corner, but also what I'm going to do is place it in the inner corner, and then I'm just going to drag it kind of a little bit into the lower lash line. I find that I really like the way that this looks, and it just adds a little bit of that glow and a little bit of shimmer to your look that's completely matte. And we're just going to put a little bit on. And I have a weird little like eye booger that happened to just pop out. There we go. So I'm going to place that in, and then I'm just going to do a tiny little like poke of the Anastasia Glow shade in Summer, dip back into that, and just do a tiny little poke in the inner corners just to really brighten that up. and that is complete. What I'm going to do now is just add on a little bit of mascara. I do have eyelash extensions, so just so you know, these aren't my real lashes. What I'm just going to go ahead and do is just place a little bit of mascara on the tips of my lashes. Like I said, with lash extensions, I don't recommend putting a lot of mascara on them really ever. The only reason I'm doing it is because I need to get them filled, and it just deepens them a little bit when I get some powder on them. So just don't ever go close to your lash line with the mascara. When you have lash extensions, it can tend to pull them out and weaken them, and if you're going to be spending a pretty penny on these, you really want to take care of them. I'm not going to put anything on my bottom lashes today. I don't feel like it. Sometimes it transfers to my concealer, so if you have a really good recommendation of a lower lash mascara, please let me know. I'm sick of these transferring to my freaking bottom of my lashes, and I look in the mirror when I get to work or get to dinner or something, and it's already transferred, and it annoys me so much. So if you have a really good recommendation of a lower lash mascara, please post below and let me know, and I'm more than happy to go out and buy it and use it. Well, thank you so much for watching my video today. I hope that you enjoyed seeing how I got this look. I'm actually about to go out and meet some friends for brunch, which I'm so excited about. I am hungry, and yeah, so if you're curious in how, if you want to see me do any other looks, smoky eye looks with different colors, comment below. Let me know what you're looking to see, and I'm so excited to come on with my next video. Be sure to subscribe for updates. I'll be posting videos all throughout the week. I film on the weekends mostly, and I just will have them lined up to go out throughout the week. And if you have questions, like I've said probably 5 million times, I'm not good with these outros and intros yet. I will be. Anyways, I hope that you enjoyed, and thank you so much for supporting me, and I will see you next time. Bye.